Hi, I'm Dave Epstein, and welcome to this edition of Growing Wisdom. On this edition, we're going to talk about planting a mixed container and keeping it organic. For those of you without a lot of yard space, containers are a great way to bring color as well as food into your garden. So today we're going to mix everything up. We're going to plant a perennial rose, some herbs, and a flowering annual all in the same container. It doesn't matter what you put in here. If you love it and it grows, it works. The centerpiece of our container is going to be the scarlet flower carpet rose. Now, why do I say it's the centerpiece? Well, this is going to flower from early summer all the way until frost. And the goal here is for us to give it color. By selecting something like the rose in the middle, we're able to fill the container with lots of color and still have room for our herbs. When you're planting a container in which you may eat some of the things that come out of it, I like to use an organic fertilizer in the container. If you're doing a mixed container and you're not going to eat any of the plants, you can use just any old fertilizer. We've talked a lot before about container planting, and you can check out many videos on how to plant containers. A couple of quick reminders. Be sure that you have drainage holes in the bottom of your container. Be sure to use a container mix when you're planting your container. The soil is specially formulated for this enclosed environment. Locate your container in a sunny location if your plants need sun, or in a shady location if your plants require more shade. Containers tend to dry out faster than the ground around them. You may have to water a container as much as once a day. Also, because a container is a closed environment, fertilize it a few times during the growing season. Okay, so here we go. So we're using our container mix. Because we're planting edibles inside the container, it's important to choose a plant which isn't going to require any chemicals like the flower carpet rose. We've talked before about choosing tomato varieties, for example, that don't require a lot of spraying. Well, the rose is like that. These roses have been bred over 2 decades to perform without the use of chemicals. And I often say to people, this isn't your grandmother's rose. People think they have to do so much to get them to perform. So, as we've always taught you, tease the roots, same as you would if you were planting this in the ground, before you plant it in the container. This will just help make contact with the soil around it. So notice we've got our rose plant in, and look at all the room we're going to have for our herbs. Now, over the course of the summer, you could prune this back, so maybe let it trail over the back and keep the front nice and neat so that your herbs do have plenty of room to grow. In addition to putting fertilizer as you're planting, you can sprinkle a little bit on the top and mix that in. That fertilizer will get watered in every time you water. Depending on where you are in the United States, the container will winter over just fine. In the colder locations, protect the container or bring it inside the garage for the winter. As we've talked about here at Growing Wisdom, those plants which are bred for disease resistance are wonderful because they allow you the opportunity to not have to use any synthetic chemicals on them. Things like flower carpet roses, which have been around for decades, are tried and true in the garden. We're able to use this in a container with things we're going to eat because we know we're not going to have to use any chemicals on that plant, and it's still going to flower. That's the great thing about this line of roses. For Growing Wisdom, I'm Dave Epstein.